Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to present a poem by Wang Wei in the title of Zhong-nan Biệt or the Zhong-nan Villa. This is the poem I love the most among all Wang Wei's poems. The poem is not very long. There are only 4 couplets in the poem, yet the poem is able to express the most intricate and innermost feelings of the poet, as well as the most drastic mood shift from the deepest despair to a calm detachment, reflecting the life and death situation experienced by the poet. By the way, I wonder if any of you ever experienced such a situation or really difficult situation in your life, and how did you react to the situations? I would love to hear from you. In this poem, Wang Wei presented his reaction, and his reaction were not only authentic and sincere, but were expressed in such a beautiful and elegant way. That is why I love this poem the most. I'll present a more detailed explanation in my translation and analysis of this poem later on. I'll also present the translations David and I made along with a translation by David Young, an accomplished American poet and translator, and compare our translation with David Young's translation to highlight the culture and historical significance of this poem. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on this subject. So if you would like to read the original Chinese text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Now, let me read the poem in Chinese first. 终岁颇好道，晚驾南山陲。幸来每独往，盛世空自知。行到水穷处，坐看云起时。偶然值林收，谈笑无还期。Now, let's look at the first 2 couplets. 终岁颇好道，晚驾南山陲。幸来每独往，盛世空自知。终岁 means middle age. 颇 means very. Hao here is pronounced in the 4th tone rather than the usual 3rd tone and means to be really into something. For instance, I can say 我好诗词 means I'm really into poetry. Dao often refers to religious teachings. Here it is used to refer Buddhism. 晚 means later years. 家 usually is a noun meaning home, but here it is used as a verb meaning to set up a house. 南山 means southern mountain. 垂 means foot. 幸 literally means to stand up. You can still see this used in historical drama. It was later extended to mean to become interested in something, as in the phrase of 兴趣 or interest. But when an interest intensifies, the interest becomes happiness, as in the phrase of 高兴 or heightened interest or happiness. 来 means come. 兴来 literally means when an interest arises. So David and I translate 兴来 as when the mood takes me. 每 means often. 独 means alone. 往 means to go. 盛世 often refers to community activities or festivities, such as religious fairs or market fairs, etc. But we think here it is used to describe the sceneries Wang Wei visited, because he was describing his walks in the mountain. So David and I translate 盛世 as beautiful views. 空 means empty. It is often used to describe a place, as in the phrase of 空房, vacant rooms. But it can also be used to describe the empty feelings when one was alone, as used here. 知 means self. 知 means to know, to understand, or to appreciate. 空知知 emphasizes that there is no one to share the beautiful views he saw, which substantially reduce his pleasure. This line presents a subtle shift of mood from mild excitement to disappointment. Because 盛世 is a term for community activity or festivity, which implied a shared excitement of a group or even a large crowd. Yet, 空知知 heightens the disappointment that there was no one to share the poet's pleasure with. So the two couplets can be translated as, in my middle years, I become very interested in Buddhism. In my later years, I set up a house at the foot of the Southern Mountain. When the mood took me, I'd often go to the mountain alone. In vain, it was only me appreciate the beautiful views. 行到水穷处，坐看云起时。偶然值年寿，谈笑无还期。行 means walk, 道 means at. 行道 can be translated as arrived at. 水 means river. 穷 means to exhaust all options. In modern Chinese, 穷 is often exchangeable with another character, 贫, to mean poor, or used together as 贫穷 to mean poor. However, these two characters have very different meanings in classical Chinese. 贫 is made up by the character 分, meaning to divide, and 倍 meaning money. So it means to have less money because the money was divided, and there is less money for oneself. The character 穷, on the other hand, is made up by the character of 穴, meaning cave, and 宫, meaning the body or self. That is, being trapped in a cave. So 穷 is a very strong word, meaning one has run out of all options and is trapped. The fixed phrase of 穷途末路, or in a plight with no way out, is often used to express this meaning in modern Chinese. The character 穷 is also related to a famous story of one of the 7 worthies from the bamboo graph, Ran Ji, who used to get drunk and drove his carriage without a destiny. Whenever he hit a dead end, he would cry loudly and turn his carriage around. This story was known as 穷途之哭, the cry of a trapped man. I'll explain why the appearance of this character here is significant later in my analysis of this poem. David and I discussed for quite a while about how to translate the term 水穷处. Given the strong negative connotation of the character 穷, it is not reasonable to simply translate the phrase as the source of the river, although it's quite accurate. So we translate it as where the river disappears, in order to preserve a bit of the negative tone. 坐 means sit, 看 means watch. Yun here can be translated either as cloud or mist. 起 means rise. 时 means time. 偶然 means fortuitously. 直 means run into. 林 means wood. 收 means old man. 林收 means the old man from the wood, so we translate it as old ranger. 谈 means talk. 笑 means laugh. 无 means there is not. 还 means return. 期 means time. 无还期 means haven't thought of the time. So David and I translate the term as lost track of time. So the two couplets can be translated as I arrived at where the river disappears. Sitting down, I watched the mist rise. Fortuitously, I ran into an old ranger. We talked and laughed and lost track of time. Now, let me show you our translation and David Young's translation side by side. Let me read David Young's translation. Since my middle age, I have been a most enthusiastic Buddhist. Now that I'm old, I have settled here in the mountain country. Sometimes I get so happy I have to go out by myself. There are many marvelous places I alone know about. I climb to the source of a stream and sit to watch the rising mist. Sometimes I come across an old man of the woods. We talk and laugh and forgot to go home. It is quite clear that the two translations read very differently. From David Young's translation, we get the feeling that the poet was very happy. He settled into the mountain country, enjoyed going to the mountain often, and made a few friends. The emotion expressed in the poem seems very consistent. He was particularly happy that he alone knew the marvelous places in the mountain like a happy secret. He was also delighted to meet and chatted with an old man. However, in our translation, we noted the changing mood experienced by the poet, from a mild excitement to disappointment. The most drastic mood change is expressed in the third couplet. 行到水穷处，坐看云起时. Or, I arrived at where the river disappears. Sitting down, I watched the mist rise. As I mentioned earlier when translating the character Qiong, this character has an extremely negative connotation referring a plight that one has no way of getting out. Our translation is rather mild. However, if you read the original Chinese text, the character and the line using this character imply a rather dire situation. Some Chinese scholars believe this poem was composed around 741 to 742 AD when Wang Wei just bought the Wei River Villa. Others believe it was composed around 758 AD. I'm more inclined to believe the later date, that is 758 AD. If you watched my second video about Wang Wei, you might recall that he was caught by the Anlusan rebellious force in Luoyang and was forced to accept an office at the Anlusan court. After the crown prince Li Heng took back the two capitals of Chang'an and Luoyang in 757 AD, many of the officials who took offices at Anlusan's court were arrested, and many of them were executed for treason. Some of them even had their family executed along with them. Wang Wei was also arrested and charged with treason, but was soon pardoned. However, It is reasonable to assume that he had experienced a serious trauma at the time when he and his whole family facing the risk of being executed for treason. He must have been seriously traumatized. I have never experienced anything even close to that. The only time I feared that my life might be destroyed was when I was caught up in a crossfire between the Vice Chancellor and the party secretary in a university I used to work in my early 20s. I was so scared that I was seriously thinking about killing myself. So I can sympathize with Wang Wei why he composed the line 行到水穷处. That is, to arrive at where the water runs out. Our translation of this line as I arrived at where the river disappears is rather mild comparing to the strong emotion provoked here. That is, Wang Wei felt that he was trapped in a dead end. During the last 4 years of Wang Wei's life, he was living in shame. He repeatedly expressed that he should have refused the job offer and be killed. Like the brave musician who refused to perform for An Lushan and was killed on the spot, which was related in a poem Wang Wei composed when he heard the story. However, he did accept the job offer. Even though he was pardoned, he was ashamed of himself that he did not die with integrity. No wonder he felt trapped. However, this line was followed by 坐看云起时, or sitting down, I watched the mist rise. This reads like a sudden shift in the poet's mood from despair to detachment. This shift of mood is expressed by the phrase of 坐看, or sitting down to watch, which has a significant historical meaning, represented by a fixed phrase, 坐壁上观. This phrase refers to an historical battle between the Qin army and the rebellious force led by the great Chu general Xiang Yu in 207 BC towards the end of the Qin dynasty. At the time, Xiang Yu led an army of 50,000 men attacking the Qin army of 400,000 men. Although Xiang Yu had asked for support from nearby rebellious forces against the Qin army, but those generals were too scared to fight the Qin army. So they 坐壁上观, or watching behind the walls of their fortresses. But Xiang Yu was able to defeat the Qin army and became the leader of the League of Rebellious Forces that eventually overthrew the Qin dynasty. So, 坐壁上观 means to not interfere with an ongoing event, but watch it from a safe place. I suggest the term 坐看 here is used to mean the same thing. That is, Wang Wei decided that he would no longer participate in the court politics, although he was still interested to watch how it would unfold. So he had adopted a rather calm attitude. The phrase 云起时 rephrases a line from Tao Yuanming's 归去来兮迟, or a song for returning home. 云无心已出岫, 鸟倦飞而知还. Clouds or mist flow from the mountain peak without a care. Birds fly to home when they are tired. This line is often cited to express the intention to leave politics and retreat to the mountains and rivers in classical poetry. Wang Wei certainly knew this convention and used this line to imply his intention of leaving politics. So, this couplet, 行到水穷处，坐看云起时, presents a drastic mood change from despair to detachment, that Wang Wei was finally able to let go of his political ambition so that he could enjoy life like the old ranger. It is just amazing how much meanings and feelings are packed into this simple couplet, and it is also done with such elegance. If you read this couplet in Chinese, it sounds really beautiful. I have posted a link to a recording of the traditional poetry chanting in the comment section. I can imagine how beautiful it would sound when chanting in the traditional style. The whole poem is absolutely a masterpiece. It starts with a rather matter-of-fact tone, then proceeds to present a mild but content mood, which is followed by a dive into the deepest despair, then returns to a detached yet calm mood. Then the poem ends with a happy ending. This short poem expresses such a wide spectrum of human emotions. I don't even have words to express my admiration of the poetic mastery shown in this poem. Like the Austrian philosopher Wittgenstein said, whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent. So, I'll stop here. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. If you would like to donate to my channel, please find the Patreon link in the description section or the homepage of my channel. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on this subject. If you would like to read original Chinese text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you next time.